Welcome to another episode of DegoSec Presents. Today's guest is someone who is loved by many, staff and students alike, for she was one of the pillars of DegoSec for the 34 years that she spent here. I had the privilege of working with her for 12 years, and for me, she was like a mother on staff. This is Judith Bryant-Thompson. Thank you for being here with us.
It is a pleasure to be here, and I would not have missed it for the world.
Mrs. Thompson, your first appointment in teaching was in 1970 and they sent you to DegoSec.
Yes.
Tell me what that was like.
It was not a very pleasant experience because it was in the midst of the Black Power movement, and I replaced a teacher who was sent down to Nelson Island. So it wasn't a very pleasant experience. I was put in a fifth form to teach English, and that was his class, and they resented me. First of all, because of the color of my skin. So you would hear remarks like honky and why she don't go back where she come from. It was a very difficult time for me. But eventually, I managed to survive because not all of the students felt the same way. I remember particularly one student, Don Sylvester. He's now in charge of Carnival Village in the Savannah. And he was the one who would stand up for me all the time and tell them to behave and so on. And every Friday, if I had a class on a Friday, I would not have a class because the majority of the students left at midday to go Nelson Island to see their teacher, who would probably indoctrinate them and tell them, that I was the wrong kind of person for them to send and so on. But I weathered the storm until 2004, and I was very happy here.
What is it that made you decide to teach English?
Well, I like to read. And reading led to English literature, and English literature led to English language. So that's why I did English at Howard University.
I have worked with you for a number of years, and in my time here, I would say you were loved by almost everyone, the teachers, the staff, non-teaching staff.
I think so too.
How did you use that to motivate your students to do better?
Well, first of all, you have to show them that when you correct them, you're correcting with love. That you're not correcting them because they are bad or because you want to be like a tyrant. You show them that you're correcting them with love. And eventually they will come around. I would say, that's why I stayed at this school for so long. I didn't want to go to any other school because I was happy here.
If you weren't a school teacher, what do you think you would have been doing instead?
I probably would have been somebody's executive secretary. Because that's the only other thing I could think about. I didn't like being a lawyer. I didn't like being a doctor. I didn't like that. I only wanted to be a teacher. And I guess I would have been a secretary.
Another thing I know about you, Ms. Thompson, is that while you were teaching, you allowed the creative side of you to flourish and you had a business. Was this a hobby turned into business, or was it something you were planning for retirement?
I was planning it for retirement, so I started it about 2 years before I retired. It was a gift basket business. And I felt that I couldn't just go into a gift basket business without some proper training. So I looked up on the internet and found a 5-day seminar of all places in Las Vegas. So off I went to Las Vegas by myself for 5 days to this seminar. And when I came back, I just launched into it, and it did extremely well until a couple of years ago, when corporate clients decided that they were going to do their own thing. I'm not satisfied with how it looks because they just put things in a basket, they don't pack it for presentation. But it turned into a business and it has slowed down considerably, so I've gone into making jewelry.
In your 34 years here, is there anything that stands out to you?
Well, the camaraderie that we had as teachers in the early days. Like on a Friday, we would go over to the home ec room and cook and play wind ball cricket, and we used to have staff parties and so. But when the school became bigger and more teachers came in, you know, that kind of thing died. It wasn't as active. But I enjoyed my early days here. And Degosec was supposed to be a model secondary school. The first school that had a farm, taught agri. You know, we were looked upon as the model secondary school. The catchment area being Diamond Vale and Dago Martin. But I did enjoy my time here, otherwise I would have left.
Do you miss teaching?
I missed it at first. I miss teaching, but I do not miss the paperwork that comes with teaching. But I do miss teaching.
Is there anything you would have liked to see different in Degosec?
I would have liked to see teachers more dedicated, because they would come in and the first thing that would be on their mind is what time is dismissal. Some teachers are like that. Teachers are not really as dedicated as they used to be. Because in my day, we didn't have a guidance officer, so we had to be like guidance officer, doctor, parent, everything. I would have liked to see teachers be a little more dedicated to their duty. And then you would get better results too, you know, because children are not stupid. They can see who are the teachers who are bluffing and those who are not. Because up to today, I see students and they call out to me and they tell me, "Miss, thank you for what you did for me." And I really wasn't at that time in my 20s thinking that I was really doing something for them. I was doing what I was supposed to do and what I thought was my calling.
You partly answered this question, but I want you to elaborate more. When you see your past students, how do you feel when you see they've succeeded and you know that you have contributed to their success?
I feel very proud, and I feel that my life was not in vain. I did something. I did something for somebody. But they all tell me, "Thank you very much for what you have done for me." And they are in all walks of life. I have doctors, lawyers, police officers, customs officers, fire officers, everywhere. Till my friends are amazed that I cannot go anywhere unless the police officer will come to kiss me or the fire officer will come. They all come to kiss and hug. So it's a very rewarding feeling, you know, that you contributed something to somebody's life. And that even though you were harsh at times with them, that now that they are adults, they appreciate it.
34 years is a long time to be in a classroom. At any point, did you think that maybe you should have applied to become a vice principal or a principal?
No, I never wanted to become a vice principal or principal because I enjoyed being in the classroom. And if I had to be a principal, I would have to be away from the classroom, and even a vice principal working on timetables and so. I enjoyed being in the classroom.
Do you have any regrets?
My one regret is that the Ministry of Education never saw it fit to straighten my status as a special teacher 3. I was given special teacher 3 status because I graduated from Howard University, which I cannot understand up to this day because I maintained a high average. I graduated magna cum laude, and I just can't understand it. They never promoted me to teacher 2, and I carried the same workload, and my passes and successes even surpassed those who were teacher 2s. So I just left it up to the Almighty. But that was my one regret.
Mrs. Thompson, thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, it was a pleasure. It was long in coming. I've been putting it off because even though I'm just turned 70, I participate in carnival. So that's why I had to put you off.